Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another video. And today we're gonna dupe another palette, and it's gonna be the Simply Posh Beauty Bakery, the Gingerbread Bakery, which looks so beautiful. And if I'm gonna buy something from Simply Posh, it's gonna be that palette, even though it's surprisingly like half neutral, but it looks very pretty. So I think I'm gonna get that one at some point. I don't know if I'm gonna get it right now because I don't know when it's coming to Monolith, but I really am intrigued by the color story. So I have my empty magnetic palette here in front of me. I've already searched through my collection to try to find this color story because there are quite a lot of matte neutrals that I don't really have in my collection, so it was a little bit harder to kind of figure out what to choose. So I've already kind of prepared the color story and I'm just gonna share it with you. Comment down below if you like this palette and if you want me to create looks with it, because I can absolutely do that. It's not too hard for me to film like 2 or 3 looks with this color story. I think it could be really pretty. And make sure that you like this video and that you are subscribed if you want to see more duping sessions. I do enjoy making these and I would like to film like 1 or 2 videos like this a month, just because I want to stop myself from buying new products if I can dupe them. So that's what we're gonna be working with. I'm gonna pop the picture of the new palette from Simply Posh over here, I think, so that it's easier for you to kind of visualize. And I don't remember the shade names of that palette, so we're just gonna have to go by how they look like. So the first shade is supposed to be like a pale yellow. I have a lot of yellow shades, but I don't really have like a pastel pale yellow. I have quite like brighter colors, and this one looked almost beigey, so I chose this shade, which is from Glam Shop. It's from the Mushlinova palette that I've depotted, and it's called Viscosovy. And this one is a very yellow based beige shade, so I feel like it's gonna be the closest to what we should have in this color story, but obviously it's not 100% because I don't really have a shade like that. I've tried to see even in like some magnetic palettes that have round bands in my collection, and I just cannot find anything similar. The second shade though, I think I got pretty close. It's supposed to be like a pale pastel pink, and it's more like a wildy, like more with a hint of purple. So I chose this one, which is a single from Colourpop. It's called Friendly. So you can see I do use it quite a bit. It has a good dip on it, and yeah, it's just a fun little shade. So that one. Then the third was also really easy because this one is like a minty pastel-y color. That one is one of the first shades I've noticed in that palette, and I really like this one. So this one is depotted from Glam Shop from the Alter Ego palette, and this one is called Pastella, if I've marked it correctly, and it's a very beautiful light pastel-y green, like minty color. Then the next shade is supposed to be very like orangey brown, and with this one I think I'm quite close. So this is a single from Colourpop, and it's called Running Late, and I don't know if this was an advertised like bronzer shade, but obviously it's a eyeshadow pan, so yeah, Running Late. It's a very beautiful warm matte shade, and I kind of like this shade with the entire column that it's placed in. The next up is depotted also from the Glam Shop Mushlinova palette, and this one is called Temny Len, and this one is supposed to be more like a pinky with a hint of brown, and this is the most like pinkier brown that I have. So I thought that this one could be nice right here. Then next up, and I don't think I'm like super close, and this shade looks different in the pen than it looks in the swatch and on your eyes. But this one is from Pokemon, from the Colourpop palette, and it's called Trainer's Path. And this one I think was supposed to be more like a taupey brown, so that's what I went with. It's not fully similar to the palettes that we're trying to do, but I don't have neutral shades, so that one was hard. And then the middle row, which is all the shimmers. So for the first one, I thought I would go with this Makeup Beauty Shop shade. This one is from the Hollow Multiverse collection, and it's called Galactica. And it has like a pinky goldy flake. This one was very interesting because in the picture I wasn't fully sure what the first shade is supposed to look like. Like it looked interesting. I feel like I have similar shade somewhere. I think I have a shade like that from in the Glam Shop Sorbet palette, but I don't have that one deep potted, so I can't really like use it for this BYOP. And next up I'm gonna use this shade from Glam Shop. This is a single shade from them, and it's called how is it called? Narcissus. So this one is it's one of those like marbled shade, but it has that super bright purpley tone, and it has a bit of a pinkiness to it as well. And this one's supposed to be like a very bright berry color, so it was as close as I could get. I have a couple multichromes that have shifts that are super close to what it's supposed to look like, but then they flip to like green or yellow, which is not how this shade is looking like in all of the pictures. Then third in the like shimmery row is a light blue, and I think it has a bit of a teal in it. At least that's how it looked like for me in the pictures. So I decided to go for this shade, which is from Sinful Echoes, and it's called Riptide. And it's a beautiful, it's called Star Sign. And it's a beautiful shade, and it has very blue base. The next up, this one looked like a soft peachy to beige shimmer shade. And the closest one I have to that is from Makeup Beauty Shop, and it's called Blitzen. And I think this one is very close. At least from the pictures, like this looks very close. I think the shade that they had a slight flip to like a really light green, which this one doesn't really have green, but it has that taupiness, and together with the orange it almost looks kind of greeny, so maybe this one could be nice. Then the next one is like an orangey shimmer, so I decided to go for this shade, which is from Glam Shop. It's the Potted from the Alter Ego palette, and it's I think called Turbo Jolty, if I'm not mistaken. And then the last shade on this row I think was supposed to be like a taupey brown. So I went with this shade from Makeup Beauty Shop. It's from the 7 Elysian Scents collection, and this one is called Lust. It's a very fun shade, considering the fact that it's neutral. I actually do kind of like it, especially with like a purple or pink looks. It does look cool for that. And then the last row. So the first shade was supposed to be like a light pink shade, and it looked a bit not like fully pink, but peach a little bit. And I went for this one from Glam Shop. This one is from the Mushlinova palette, and it's called Mushlin. It's a very neutral shade with a hint of pink, and I think it looks very pretty. Next up was supposed to be purple. I was thinking about different shade for this that was lighter, but then when I saw the swatches, it looks darker in the swatches than how it appears in the palette, so I decided to go for this one. This one is from the Pokemon palette from Colourpop, and this one is called Lavender Town. And again, beautiful purple shade. Then we have a pastel blue, and my favorite pastel blue in my collection when it comes to my singles is this shade from the Legend of Korra palette from Colourpop, and it's called Waterbending. I already have a pan in it, it's just great. And I've used it so many times, and this one feels like it fits really nicely here. Then next up is supposed to be a really warm brown. So I chose this shade. This is the Putty from the Halloween palette from Shroud Cosmetics, and it's called Losers Club. So it's the warmest brown that I have in my collection. Next shade is supposed to be like a darker and more hot chocolate type of color. I don't have a matte shade like that though, so I decided to go for this. This one is a more like a sequined kind of satiny shade from the Pokemon palette from Colourpop, and this one is called Cinnabar Islands. But honestly, you can use this as a matte shade because Colourpop shimmers are generally not very sparkly, and this one is more satin, so I can use it as a matte shade without any major problems. And the last shade is supposed to be like a really deep chocolate brown, and I decided to go for this shade. This is from Shall We Makeup, and it's from the Wolfa palette, and it's the last shade in that palette. It's the deep brown. I think there's only 2 matte shades in that palette. One is like mustardy, orangey brown, and then it's this. So it should be very easy to identify. And let me show you the color story, which is gonna be a little bit more complicated because this palette is kinda on its last legs. This is how it looks like, and I think we're very close. Obviously this has a black base or like background, and the Simply Posh palette has lighter background, but I think I'm quite close, and I'm really scared to like ruin any of the shades. So yeah, let me try to hold it like this. Yeah, I think I'm really close. I'm obviously gonna film close-ups and swatches of this, and please let me know down below if you actually want me to play with this color story. I wouldn't mind playing with it and maybe do like a 3-look 1 palette type of video. I don't know when I'm gonna have time to do that, to be honest, because I'm so behind on my panning, and I have to go through so many palettes for like no pan left behind, because I would really like to do that and touch some of my autumnal palettes. And yeah, I'm wrapping up a lot of different projects, so I don't know how much time I'm gonna have, but I would still like to play with this color story. So maybe I could film the video like in the beginning of December, maybe. Yeah, I think that could be a nice video to film. And the color stories that are the most intriguing to me, let me actually show you what I would like to play with. So these very orangey browns with these blues and teals, like this 6-pan, I really want to play with that. I really want to play with this kind of yellowy, and then this, so like the L over here. I would love to create a look with that. Maybe even like the pink and the taupey browns, that could be very pretty, and like kind of more neutrally. So those are the shades that I'm mainly thinking about using in a look. Maybe even like the blue, purple, and then this really warm brown, that could also be a really pretty look. So yeah, those are kind of my current options that I see in this, and I would like to explore more, but let me know your opinions down below. And I hope you've had a wonderful day. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll be very happy to see you tomorrow. Bye guys.